Hey everyone, welcome back to TechandTake. This channel is my small step towards achieving something big, to share the useful tech knowledge with clarity and simplicity. If you find value here, a like or subscribe really motivates me to keep going. Let's get into today's topic.
In today's video, we are going to learn about AWS EBS, also known as Elastic Block Store. It is a key storage service. In this session, we will cover what EBS is, why it is needed, how it works behind the scenes, and quick real-world analogy to make it super easy to understand. Let's get started. When you launch an EC2 instance in AWS, you need to places to store your data, just like computer needs hard drive. That's where EBS or Elastic Load Balancer comes in. It provides persistent block storage that works like a virtual hard disk for your EC2. Whether you are storing files, running a database, or keeping logs, EBS gives your EC2 instance a reliable, high performance storage system that remains even if EC2 is stopped. Let's break it down simply with simple analogy. Think of an EC2 instance as a laptop. But what's a laptop without hard drive? Yes, exactly. EBS is like hard drive. It stores your files, programs and data. Without it, EC2 has nowhere to save anything. And the best part, even if your EC2 is shut down, your EBS volume still keeps your data safe.
Assume we have a EC2 instance under US East 1 region and the below EBS gets attached to the above EC2 instance. Now assume we have one more EC2 instance at the same region and it cannot be possible to attach a single EBS to multiple EC2 instance at the same time. Okay, but a multiple EC2 or EBS can be attached to a single EC2 instance. Now similarly assume we have another region which is US East 2 and it should have its own EBS and it can have any number of unassigned EBS in any region, but EBS of one region cannot be used by another region. Now let's jump to AWS console. Now we are in AWS console and let's navigate to EC2. Let's click on instances, which is under instance option, and here it will show the existing EC2 instances and we have one here. If you don't have it in your side, you can go ahead and create or click on the launch instances, and maybe creation of new EC2 instances we will address it in another session. In this session we will only focus on EBS. Let's jump in. Upon choosing this EC2 instance checkbox, it will show all of its details here, and I will navigate to storage. So if I scroll a little bit down, we will see here something called volume under block device. This is our EBS, which means Elastic Block Store. So now we have a EC2 instance above, and we can see that EC2 instances EBS, which means when we create any EC2 instances, by default there will be a root EBS or Elastic Block Store will get created, and we can see here the volume is 8 GB and it says it's already in use, and attachment status is attached, which means this EBS is already attached to the above EC2 instance, and we have all the attachment time and all other details.
If I scroll little bit right, we have an option called delete on termination, and the value is yes, which means when we terminate or delete our EC2 instance, its EBS is also getting deleted at the same time. So we have an option while we are creating EBS, like to choose the delete on termination, either yes or no. If we set it as yes, yes, our EBS will get deleted once we delete our attached EC2 instance. So we will learn more about this. We have already seen how EBS looks like. One way to view EBS is go to the respective EC2 instance and then navigate to storage tab. There you will find the EBS. And another way is to go to the Elastic Block Store and volumes option, and once you click on volumes it will navigate to volumes interface, and there also you can see the created EBS. As I explained earlier with the diagram, we can attach or create multiple EBS for a single EC2 instance. So now I am going to create a new Elastic Block Store or EBS, and then I'm going to attach that into the EC2 instance. So let's create a new EBS. Create for that, click on create volume, and then we have multiple options here, the volume type can be gp3 gp2. I will keep gp3 as it is, and size maybe minimum is 1 gigabyte and maximum is this one, so I will just keep it as 2 gigabyte for now, and rest all I will keep it as it is. So now focus on this availability zone. To add this EBS to any EC2 instance, its availability zone should match. So in this case, the availability zone is US East 2A. Let's quickly navigate to EC2 instance and see where that EC2 instance is available in which region. Okay, and I'm in EC2 instance, and here availability zone is US East 2B, and now we have to make it as US East 2B. So I changed it, and okay, I think it's done, and let's create a volume. This is going to create a new EBS. See, the 8 GB one is already existing one, and the 2 gigabytes one is which we created now, and it says available, and it's not attached yet. Okay, I mean it's not attached to any EC2 instance yet, but the above one is says it is in use. So now we have to attach this EBS into our EC2 instance. Let's attach our newly created EBS into our existing EC2 instance. So to do that, we'll select this checkbox and then go to action, and we have an option called attach volume. Click on that, and here we have options to attach our EBS into EC2 instance. So in this drop down it will show all the existing EC2 instances, but we have only one EC2 instance here, so I am going to attach it into the existing EC2 instance like this. And here it is asking for device name, and it says recommended device name for Linux dev xdva for root volume. So root volume is already created by default when we are creating EC2 instance. So now we are adding an additional volume, so we prefer this one. Okay, and we can see xdva it's already in use, which means it's for root, and now we are creating additional, so I will choose any recommended one. Okay, and I will click on attach volume. So this should attach our EBS into the EC2 instance. Okay, see now it says volume state is in use. Now I will navigate to EC2, and I'll refresh it here and we'll see. Okay, I'll just go to storage. Okay, we will see there are two EBS is attached to our above EC2 instance. Here, the root EBS is set as yes for delete on termination, and the newly added EBS is set as no, which means upon deleting the above EC2 instance, the root EBS will get deleted automatically, but the below one will be exist. I mean, it will get retained. We will see that. Now, I am going to terminate the EC2 instance. We have an option here to terminate or delete instance. Let's click on that. This is going to terminate my EC2 instance. Let's terminate it. And I will click on refresh again. Yeah, maybe it will take some time to delete. See, Now our EC2 instance got terminated, and if I go to storage tab, I don't find any EBS here. Okay, it shows no block devices attached because we terminated it. But we have seen there are two EBS were there already. One is delete on termination was set to true, and one more is false, which means yes or no. And the newly added EBS was set to false, which means it should not get deleted even after we delete our EC2 instance. To make sure that, go to volumes again, and there we go. We can see it still got retained even after we delete our EC2 instance. So that brings us to the end of the session on AWS EBS. If you found this video helpful, give it a thumbs up and subscribe to my easy to understand AWS content. And let me know in the comment what AWS topic should I cover next. I'm reading every suggestion.